In the endless silvery currents of the Astral Sea, magic flows like wind, time stands still, and stars are but stepping stones for the daring. Out here, spelljamming ships set sail not by sail or steam, but by sheer will, wild magic, and one very flammable sense of adventure. The laws of gravity are optional, the danger inevitable, the pirates are everywhere. This is the place of drifting gods and shattered worlds, a place where treasure glitters in broken moons and danger rides on the backs of nightmares. Luckily, we've got a crew for that. Ronald Bonbon Billsworth, heir to the Billsworth shipping empire, captain with a powdered wig and a chip on his shoulder. Echo, the plasmoid monk with more bounce than sense and fists like comets. Magnus, the ever-proper gift with a monocle and a cannon, and a questionable sense of etiquette. And Lord Percival Whiskerbottom, a space hamster. Yes, an actual hamster. Don't ask how, it's complicated. Together, they've been given one last chance to prove themselves, or crash gloriously trying. But something ancient is stirring in the void. A mysterious crate, a ship need of saving, and maybe a storm of Githyanki raiders on the horizon. So grab the helm, charge the spell drive, and hold your breath. Welcome to Love, Death, and Dice, Spelljammer Adventures. Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another campaign right here on the Grouch Couch. Welcome, my friends, to Spelljammer Adventures. My name is Turk. I say we let our characters introduce themselves. Hi guys, how's it going?
Hello.
Hello there. How are you?
Good morrow. Well, everyone, as you all know, I'm the richest and fanciest person that's on this ship currently. I am the sole heir of Billsworth Shipping Company. Very rich indeed. Na boo boo, I'm better than you.
That's Connor playing Ronald, the human swashbuckler. And
hello, I'm Fishy, and I'm playing Magnus Volcanris. That's right, the Billsworth Shipping Company Special Assignments Officer. I've been placed on this ship to make sure that our high-valued asset gets to his destination safe.
Well, I am Lord Percival Whiskerbottom, hamster and master of all I survey. I will be commissioning this voyage to carry some cargo for me as I embark on yet another masterful adventure. Yes.
Very good. And you are Jim, playing Percival, the giant space hamster rogue. Exciting. And lastly, but not leastly,
it's me, Proteus. I'm playing Echo, the plasmoid. I'm a monk and general quartermaster of the ship. I work for Ronald's daddy.
And some important things to take note before we embark on our adventure. All these guys are level 6 characters. We will be playing D&D 5e, and we will be using a setting of, Spelljammer Astral Space, but we're running our own story today. No pre-written anything. We're actually just going to be having some fun and our own little story. And today's story we like to do on Love, Death, and Dice, kind of like main stories for characters. And this story was inspired by Ronald himself. So it's going to kind of be a main story for Ronald that we're going to be going on today. So first of all, thank you so much for joining us. If you are interested in this here series, if this Astral Adventures series gets enough likes, we'll come back and do another set. So make sure to leave a like on this here video to let us know that you did find it entertaining or enjoyed it in any way. And subscribe to the couch for more adventures. This is Love, Death, and Dice, Spelljammer Adventures. Our story is going to begin, friends, in the world of Randomonia. More specifically, it's going to begin in the coastal city of Port Pendulum. And Port Pendulum stretches all along the silver blue sea. There are cranes overhead and massive sails that catch sun and starlight alike. And at the heart of the docks, my friend, stands a brass and ivory tower. And this tower is the headquarters of the Billsworth Shipping Company. And it gleams, like old money and pride. Our story is going to open up with Ronald Bonbon Billsworth. My friend, you are sitting in the Billsworth family waiting room, where plush, high-backed chairs line the walls, perfect and uncomfortable symmetry, and there's a marble-topped reception desk that stands across from you, manned by a thin, warforged secretary who flips through glowing appointment cards without looking up. The ticking of an invisible clock fills the silence. loud between your sighs for how long you've just been waiting here. Everything here is also too clean, too expensive, and far too still. Your appointment here was supposed to start 10 minutes ago, and it was scheduled by him himself. In this moment, Ronald, please describe yourself to us and how you're sitting in this moment. What do you look like? What do you wear? And how do you pass the time while waiting for your father to acknowledge your existence? And also, please describe what your character looks like. Feel free to push the fiction if you want to for the people who are only listening to this episode.
Well, as you know, I'm currently draped in fancy clothes that have been worn and torn by the life of the pores, because I've been among them for the last, I don't know. I can't even keep track of time. I've lost my timepiece. But I am definitely out of place in this nice-looking, fancy area. I don't look like I belong here. Or maybe I look like a disgruntled worker who had been fired like months ago and he's back. I am very disheveled, and I'm also very nervous sitting in this plush, fancy seat, twiddling my thumbs nervously, tapping my feet constantly, very anxious, because I'm very nervous about this meeting I'm about to have.
In this moment, the Warforged secretary, they're a Warforged, kind of neutral-voiced, efficient. They have, segmented steel fingers that are shuffling through these papers without error, and even though they lack an actual mouth, a voice still emits from like a crystal in their throat. And they look up, and they're kind of like a bureaucratic, almost like a DMV android. And as they look up to you, after way too long of you sitting in this silence, they say, Ronald Bon Billsworth, your presence is now requested in the office of Maximus Grievous Billsworth. Please follow the servant.
Oh, okay.
Your father prefers punctuality, even when he's late.
Yes, I know, thank you.
Your allotted conversation time is 15 minutes.
Only 15? I'm his only child.
He only has 15 minutes of time to spare for his only child.
Okay.
And you stand there for a minute, just kind of waiting, and it feels like forever. But the two large oak doors open slowly, and walking out of the oak doors are a short little fleshy-looking creature that you know to be a homunculus, kind of like a tiny little bat guy, but he doesn't have his wings anymore. As per usual, the Billsworth Shipping Company always clips the wings of their servants.
Ah, yes. The paws.
And this little guy, he's a male, looking little guy, kind of masculine looking. He's got pale pink clay skin. He's about 2 feet tall. He wears a tiny waistcoat that has the Billsworth crest on it, and his movements are overly dramatic. And as the door opens, he looks up to you, and in a fussy and kind of naval voice, he says, "Right this way, Master Ronald. Do not try to tread on the inlays. They're all gold leaf. Let's go. Come on. And his little fleshy hand grabs a finger of your hand and pulls you.
Okay.
So do mind your posture. Your father hates a sloucher.
Right.
Yeah. And also, don't breathe directly on any of the portraits. Those are very expensive.
Of course.
Yeah, so stand up straight and don't breathe. And also, your father is in a temper, so tread lightly.
Thank you.
And the homunculus waddles down the hall. And it leads you through a series of tall doors and velvet-draped corridors before arriving at the imposing office. And as you reach there, he looks up at you and just holds out his hand.
Oh, right. You can have this cool-looking rock I found.
You put it in his hand and he looks at it and he goes, "Wow, that's a cool rock. What happened? Did you lose all your money?"
No, absolutely not. I'm just... The rock is valuable in some way. It's a gem.
Oh, so you chose to smell like trash then?
This is the newest craze of perfume that's sweeping Randomonia.
I mean, it literally smells like you've been sleeping in a trash can.
Well, I mean, outside isn't necessarily the trash can, but I like to call it urban camping.
Urban camping, yes. Well, just don't tell your father that. And he puts the rock in his pocket like he's going to keep it. And he walks around and inspects you. And he kind of like straightens out your coat and dusts some like old lettuce and like stains off of your clothes. He's like licking his little tiny fleshy thumbs and trying to clean you up as best that he can. And he's like, okay, Ronald, you know, it would be good to have you back here. So don't ruin this.
I'll try not to.
And he nods and walks up the hallway back to whatever he was doing. In front of you are two very large, polished doors.
Do I check for traps? I open the door.
Okay, as you swing the beautiful doors open, and inside, your boots click on marble tile as you approach a looming mahogany desk. Behind it stands a man who looks carved from salt and vinegar. Maximus Grievous Billsworth himself. The air is heavy with unspoken expectations. He looks like this. He is a human male in his 60s, tall, cruelly postured. He has white hair pulled tight. His eyes are dull sapphires, unmoving. And when he speaks, his voice is sharp, scathing, almost like a British CEO with like zero patience. And I think I have that image over here too, I do. As you walk in, he motions to the large leather chair in front of his desk without saying a single word.
Greetings, Father.
Ronald, please sit. I do not have all day.
Yes, sir.
Listen to me closely. If you fail this, Ronald, you failed the whole family. Do you understand me, boy?
Yes, Papa.
This delivery is no ordinary errand. It is a contract to transport secured cargo into the astral plane itself. Dangerous, dangerous territory. And the Billsworth Shipping Company has been handsomely hired to deliver it. And I have appointed you, against my own better judgment, to oversee the mission.
I see. This seems to be a lot of responsibility, Father.
It is indeed, Ronald. But if you wish to work your way back into the good graces of the Billsworth Shipping Company, then this is what you must do. A ship and crew are being assembled literally as we speak. And this is your last chance to claw your way back into our good graces. But if you fail this, you will be cut off entirely. No inheritance, no title, no more second chances.
I understand, Father.
Good. You will meet with a Lord Percival Whiskerbottom. He has hired us to deliver a crate to the Rock of Brawl. You will do whatever he needs with this crate. And for the love of the gods, please return my spelljamming ship back in one piece. It is the oldest ship we have. Even the crew that mans the ship have been on this ship for a long time.
Yes, Father, most certainly.
Do not let your insecurities steer the ship, Ronald. You wear the wig, but that doesn't make you its captain. It's a title you must earn. They may call you captain, but you must earn being a captain.
You're right. Control them through fear and unfairness.
Now you're speaking like a real Billsworth. Fine.
I understand. I will not fail you.
Good. When you say that, I think it's a good opportunity for you to make me a persuasion check. The first check of this here campaign, we're going to call it a DC 15. That is a 16 plus 8. That is a 24. Good Lord. So, when you say this, you can tell your father is a little impressed. He's a little bit convinced. He looks right at you, Ronald, and he goes, "My boy, you listen here. Flapjack is helming this ship. and the damn flumph won't die. So use him, but learn from him, because if you keep talking that way, maybe one day you will be able to call this ship your own.
Huzzah, Father. I've always dreamed of being the captain of a ship with a lot of responsibility and work and not having fun. I love it.
Good, because that's what it's all about. Now, he slides a sealed scroll across the desk. You can already tell, and you know this from working around here a lot, it contains ship clearance orders, and he snaps and he says, "Now go. Our allotted time is over. The dockmaster awaits. And Ronald..."
Yes, Father.
"Do not open the crate."
Of course.
And you step out the door, and the door is shut behind you.
I would like to add something for the end of this scene.
Okay.
As soon as the doors close behind me and I've managed to clear earshot of my father's office, I immediately start slouching again and unbutton my coat, and I thought he would never stop talking. Ugh. What is ship captain? Ooh, who wants to be a ship captain? You're out at sea, no women, no drinks. Whatever. I'll do whatever I can to get my inheritance back.
Hold on. I need to roll a dice. Okay. I rolled to see if he would hear you mumbling. He didn't hear you. Very good. All right. In scene with Ronald. As the doors shut and we see Ronald mumbling, our camera zooms out and flies around the city to a balcony of sorts, on a very high balcony. A high balcony on the Temple of Stars, where we can see and hear soft chimes that echo beneath big open skies, incense curling through the air around a reflecting pool lit by candles. There are silver-threaded prayer flags that stir above as the soft breeze rolls through this peaceful sanctuary. And this is a place of pause, a place of calm, a place to think and meditate before a journey resumes. As the camera pans down, we see Echo. In this moment, Echo, could you describe your current form here? How your body reflects your calm or unease, and you've spent some time aboard the ship, and I think you come here to visit this monastery in a rare time of quiet. And what have you come here to ask the seer to help you understand before your next journey?
So my current form, you see Echo, is a mass of blue and purple, swirls and globules. And, her lower half has kind of just taken the form of just a blob. Because, I only have legs to make humans happy. I only choose to have legs for their comfort. They look at you real weird when you go around without pants on. So my lower half is just kind of a blob on the floor, and I'm sitting before the oracle, and I'm like, blessings to the void. Blessing to the stars and blessings to that which keeps us grounded to the great rock. Oh, sweet oracle, tell me, how will this voyage go? How will our cargo make it in one piece, and will we have peace and serenity when we get to our landing? Where any major hiccups that a most common of plasmoids could offer,
Nice.
Blessings to you.
And I think when you finish speaking, you see the seer. You know her to be the seer here in Port Pendulum is the seer Marin. She's a seer of the Temple of Stars. And as she steps forward, you see that she's a half-elven woman. She's in her late 50s. She's got heavily tattooed arms. She wears robes with threads of silver and stardust all about them. And her eyes are covered with a ritual blindfold. A little picture of her. And when she speaks, her voice is calm and melodic, like someone who's always humming before they speak. And the first thing that she says when you're done is, "The stars shift, and your path tangles, my luminous liquid child. The ship, it calls you again, but not without consequence. You have come to ask about it, haven't you?"
Yeah,
Well,
I have.
"There is a captain here that you must serve. I'm sure it's not the one that you've hoped for, but it is the one that you were placed beside.
Oh, all right. Is there anything that I should be wary of with this captain? Is there a path that I must take to guide this captain to righteousness or whatnot?
The balance is fragile, and you cannot hold peace forever, Echo. And I think when she says that, up to you, you could roll insight or religion to maybe gain a little bit from her words as she speaks to you. We'll call it a DC 13.
All right. What do I got? Yeah, we'll do an insight check.
Nice.
That's a 17, darling.
Nice. So she speaks again. She says, "You will meet others. Some will help you. Some will test your stillness." And she continues talking. You kind of interpret the seer's message a little bit more deeply. And as Seer Marin leans forward, she speaks into your ear and she says, "Sometimes it's not always the delivery that matters, but it is the destination indeed." She sees how much attention you're paying, and she presses a tiny charm of a silver flame into your hand. And she says, "May this guide you, Echo. I see this is important to you."
Oh, it looks like it's gonna be one of those trips, huh? Where all that training you have us do comes in handy. All right.
Hopefully. Be sure to use your meditation and keep your mind clear of any distractions.
Yep. No, I'm gonna do my best. You know me. I'm prone to throw hands, but I do so in the name of the stars. I do what I can.
We throw hands in the name of the stars. That is very correct.
Well, thank you, you see a ship. I will see you upon my return. I'll bring something nice for the temple. Spruce up the place, some nice incense from the rock, I treat you right.
You do, thank you. And we'll see you then.
And I shift back into, like, a more human-like-esque form and shimmy on a pair of pants and leave the temple.
She watches you, like, she can't see, but she can sense that you're putting pants on, and she's like, "She wasn't wearing pants. Interesting." As you put on your pants and you walk away, once again, our camera is going to zoom out from this temple, and it leads us over to a shaded alley behind the Velvet Harpoon tea room. And behind the Velvet Harpoon, in an alley where a scent of jasmine tea collides with rotting fish. It's an odd smell. The damp cobblestones here glisten beneath one single swinging lantern, and there are rickety crates that lean against mossy walls, and shadows stretch long between barrels as a small figure slinks forward, pushing a reinforced crate wrapped in chains, faintly steaming at its seams. And on the other end of the alleyway, we see a small little figure step forward. That's right. Percival, please describe your refined demeanor as you negotiate in this dingy back alley setting. What does your demeanor say about you, as you're going to make a deal?
Well, I am in fact well apportioned. I have my finest top hat, and I have waxed my mustache. I am a hamster. A giant space hamster, as some folks on this world call us. Except I'm a little smaller than my brethren, but I am cleverer and have more talent than the beasts of burden you might find on the rock or other places. And I do appreciate the finer things in life. As I said, my mustache is waxed and curled to the finest degree. My top hat, the finest of felt. And like others, I'm not sure of the need of pants, but I still wander on. And I am here today for some cargo.
Hell yeah. As you step forward, Percival, you see a goblin. He's a male. He's hunched with slick back hair and tattered robes. He's got yellow eyes, and he's missing most of his teeth, and His fingers are stained with ink and potion residue, and you can smell that he smells faintly of burnt licorice, like alchemical failure. And as he steps forward, he pushes this crate on a little dolly that's got like a squeaky wheel. He's like, and he stops right before he actually almost hits you with the crate. And he looks down and he goes, "Hey, come alone. Gutsy for a fluff ball."
Well, I have trust in the business. We are honorable business folk after all.
And it is all here, like we agreed, all intact. Everything's there.
And it is sealed properly so the voyage will not cause distress.
Yes, yes. And careful with the seals. The seals don't like loud noises or poking.
Neither do I, honestly. You should see the people that come and poke my belly. I do not like it either. Anyway,
No
this will be
questions.
taken to the
No
Bigglesworth
refunds.
Yes.
No sudden jerks. Unless you want to sprout feathers in an awkward place, you know. Don't poke at the seams. Yes.
Well, will you be delivering this to the Bigglesworth dock?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Well, your little body, you're going to have to push this thing by yourself. I don't leave you.
Oh, shit.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I go around, take a look. It's got a handle that's... Oh, goodness, it's way up there. Boy, this is going to be interesting.
So,
That's okay.
tell your contact on the Rock of Brawl that this came from no one. Especially not from me, and especially not from here. And
It is from me.
when he says that, will you give me an insight check?
I will happily. Insightful to them. I am very, very uninsightful. Very
That's an
distracted by the cart. But it was a nat 1.
Yeah, it was on +7. Jesus. Yeah, you're distracted by the cart. And you just kind of notice that the goblin retreats into the shadows. And as he does, the crate pulses once, soft and slow and warm. And you're left alone with this crate in its outline.
Well, this is a little awkward. Maybe I can push them. Nope. Okay. Ah, boy.
You can try to be clever and figure out a way to get this cart down the hill by being clever, by like using the wheels. You can make a high DC intelligence check, or you can try to make a lower DC of a strength check to try and get it where it's got to go.
Well, what I'm going to actually do, as I was about to say, is I'm going to bring out my handy mage hand.
Oh.
And the hand will go up to the top and will steer as I push along the bottom. As I push, I can sort of... Oh, that's not working. I can't do it that way. I'll do it this way. And just push it along, trying to steer with my mage hand.
Nice.
And then, what should be the check for me there, then?
I think still do a strength check. You're going to push it, but
Okay.
we'll make it a DC of 10 because you've got your mage hand helping you.
Yes. Well then, how about a nat 20, bitches?
First one of the campaign, baby. It came from personal.
Yes.
So
The Whiskerbottom luck holds true.
you push the crate with your mage hand up and out of this alleyway and back into the main part of the city, and you start pushing it towards the docks. And it's funny because passerbys can just see a single hand pushing a crate that is covered in chains and arcane symbols as a hamster follows quickly behind.
Nothing to see. What are you looking at? About your way.
And the camera zooms out, and finally it zooms back down in the docks of Port Pendulum. At the edge of the Port Pendulum docks, we see that there are crates and the rhythmic calls of seagulls circling overhead, and there's a GIF and he's inspecting his incoming crew for his next mission. There's a scent of brine and spell lantern oil that's just heavy in the air as all the ships are creaking gently in their moorings. In this moment, Magnus, will you describe yourself and what maybe you're doing as you see these 3 strange new recruits approaching to get on the ship? Of course, you have been tasked by the Billsworth Shipping Company to add 3 new people to the crew.
Magnus just standing upon the dock, making the boards creaking with his sheer weight. Standing 7 feet tall and a strong 457 pounds. He's sitting there with a tiny clipboard and a tiny quill, checking off a manifesto of different crates and different supplies needed for the new maiden voyage. And now it's time to deal with the new recruit.
Nice. Badass. So the 3 standing before you, I actually do have some images. These are images that we're going to use for a little while, so we've actually tasked our lovely artist, Children of Proteus. Shout out, links in description. Children of Proteus has their own Twitch channel and their own comic book, and they do the art for us here on the Grouch Couch, including our character art you can see, and our logo, and any of the main art that we need for things, including the 3 new crew members. But for now, we've just got some concept art to give you a visual idea of maybe what you're dealing with. And one of the first, as you walk back and forth on this dock, Magnus, one of the first people you step in front of is an Aarakocra, and it says on your clipboard that their name is Spanner, and they are a scruffy feathered, Aarakocra with goggles perched on their beak. They have a mechanical left claw and a twitching tail feather, constant nervous energy. And I think it is this one.
All right. Check. Private Spanner, welcome to the ship. You know your duties. Report to your shipwrights. Make sure you're staying on task.
Captain Bonbon, huh? If it's Captain Bonbon, with the Billsworth Company, would it be weird if I told you that I've never been on a ship before?
No, we're not being weird, but you signed up for the Billsworth Shipping Company. I don't want to hear anything about the rumors about old Bonbon over there. The only thing you need to worry about is your job on this boat. You don't do your job, you don't get grub.
Okay, that's totally fair. Look, if it helps, I'm going to go back to what I was doing. I was already restabilizing and fixing the left rudder stabilizer, so, you're welcome.
Well, good then. Get back to work. Next.
I guess we'll do this one. You step forward, and the next guy, average looking, balding, he's got a mop in his hand, total janitor energy. They got a slight beer belly. They might seem a little bit confused, and it says on your clipboard that their name is Grick. Grik.
Welcome to the ship, Private Grick. Looks like you're a part of custodial duties. Make sure you stay on top of your jobs, and then you might even be able to eat tonight.
Cool. I brought my mop and a boatload of puns. Hope that floats your boat.
Do you think this job is a joke?
Well, what do you call a ship that's always late?
Please tell me, Private Grit.
A sleeper.
What does one?
That's a pretty good one. Yeah, I'm not saying I'm a sailor, but I do know port from starboard, most days. But if the ship itself starts talking, I'm jumping ship without a lifeboat. Anyways, just here to help out. I'll swab the decks, whatever you want. I'm just Grick.
Get on the boat before I change my mind.
Can do, Mr. Hippo. Do you eat watermelons? Whole?
Of course.
Oh, all right. Just checking. And he goes and walks up the ship. The last one you step forward to is a pale-skinned dwarf with blue glowing tattoos, and he has some kind of an astral gem in the place of one of his eyes. It says on your notepad there that his name is Hobble.
Welcome, Private Hobble. Welcome to the ship.
Hey, hello. I already told them all, but I don't need a bunk. I just meditate. Upside down.
All right, we'll put you in the hammock area, right next to the other vampires that like to cocoon for the night.
Cool. And sometimes when it's quiet, I can hear the stars. They talk to me.
Well, keep the whispering to yourself. We got enough problems on the ship as it is. We don't need your own problems to join them.
Right then, speaking of problems, don't touch me eye. Seriously, don't.
And he points at it, and it's like this bright blue gem that has like static coming out of it.
Seriously.
All right. You know what? Not even gonna question it. Just make sure you stay to your duties. So the way you get grub on the boat.
So, I think now that you met all three of them, roll me an investigation check. We'll cut our DC at 12. You might be able to see who might actually be qualified for what they're doing.
That's a 7.
You can't really tell who's qualified or not, but from what you can gather on the paper in front of you, you've got a janitor, you've got a cook, and you've got a maintenance guy.
Those are all useful positions on the crew. Plus, it's always good to have cannon fodder.
And with your 7, I'm not going to give you any advice on who should go where, but as the first mate here of the ship, it's your job to assign them their jobs. So who do you put where? And as a reminder, it's Spanner, Grick, and Hobble.
We're gonna put Spanner in the kitchen, Grick on maintenance, and Hobble, swabbing the poop deck.
Absolutely incorrect. Fair enough. Okay. Jeez. Okay. Now.
It's okay. He's first. Hold on. He's first mate, but I'm quartermaster. So really, they're all gonna follow. They're all gonna fall into my line. Yeah. Eventually, that's.
So you're gonna get to see that Magnus did it incorrectly. So like.
100%. I'm.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we're gonna have words.
Okay. As the last crewmate heads up onto the ship, Dock 17 right here groans with activity. You can see there are all kinds of crates doing things. Dock hands yelling orders, and arcane winches flare as sparks fly from crazy unstable cranes and contraptions. And amid the chaos of all of this, as you guys approach, you can see sits your ship. Now, this ship here is a glorious disaster. The ship has a wooden hull, and it is stitched with meteor metal. You can see that its sails flicker between reality and dream. And on the side, it does have a bronze nameplate that flickers between titles, and it never settles. Something that Echo would know is that when a new crew heads off on the ship, a name must be earned before this ship itself will allow you to name the ship. But as you approach, there are dock hands arguing over floating crates and celestial script, but one thing that we all see is a small hamster pushing a crate with a mage hand. The crate itself is 6 feet long and cold to the touch, and there are arcane runes that are pulsing faintly, etched in celestial script, labeled for delivery, do not snoop.
Quick, you there, get out of the way. This is going to Billsworth. Whatever the name is, where is that ship? Oh, goodness.
I believe as Percival is moving slowly up the docks, the first thing that we see is Echo and Magnus standing together next to the ship, and Ronald Bon Billsworth is approaching first. The crate is kind of humming a low celestial frequency as it's being guided down the docks by Percival, but Ronald, you're the first one to approach. If you could describe your approach, you can see that these two are kind of mid-conversation. Do you make a dramatic entrance or try to assert control before the crate even arrives? How do you approach?
Well, I would like to push it back even just a little bit before I even arrive at the ramp for the ship. Okay. Does there happen to be brothels in the docks?
Sure, yeah.
Could I have a lady of the night on my arm as I walk towards the ship?
Sure.
All right, well, that's how you see me approaching. I am approaching with prostitute of sorts, and, you know, I'm explaining, yes, I have a wondrous ship. You wouldn't believe how big my ship is. I mean, it barely fits in this dock. So
You are a captain, aren't you? That's so
yes,
exciting.
Captain Ronald, that's what they call me. I mean, I just have a huge ship.
Yes, you showed me the paperwork and everything. It's very cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is it. Yeah, I know that big fellow up there. Yes, this is it. This is my ship. Yes.
Oh, it's so cool. Can you introduce me to your crew?
Oh, sure. Why not? I anything to get you in bed with me. And then I walk up the ramp and intervene in the blue person and that servant. I'm always forgetting the name of. They're talking. They're bickering. No,
So you
we're
mean
still going. Oh,
You mean to tell me, Magnus, you mean to tell me you let just 3 randos on this ship? You just hired off, you didn't even look at credentials? You just looked at their name and was like, oh, they're just gonna do fine. How are we supposed to run the ship with people who don't know what they're doing?
I said report to the ship. I gave them clear instructions. What else do you want from me?
Yeah, but if all they know is port side, what use are they to me? How am I going to get them to do a good day's work? You're kicking me in the proverbial nuts here, Magnus.
Look, I don't even want to be assigned to this ship just as much as you don't want to be assigned to this ship. I don't
What are you
want
talking about?
nothing to do.
I love this ship. This is my baby. I have been on this ship for 20 odd voyages. This is my baby. I love this ship. And I like it to run as well as possible.
And you realize once it's in control of that fucking nitwit, we're all fucking screwed, right? You know that, right?
No, absolutely. And I understand that. But you know me. I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt. I trust his father. His father wouldn't have put Bon in control unless it was for a very good reason. Maybe it's for insurance fraud. I don't know. You know they're a bit crooked. But you gotta give me a good crew to work with to make this ship work. It's old. How many starships are still made with wood? You gotta have people who know what they're doing.
Just then, I cut through the conversation. I walk right in between them as they're talking to each other. I say, anyways, these are the paws I'm in charge of. And
These poor people here. Hello, paws. He's got a ship.
and I just keep walking past them onto the ship.
Can I actually look at the prostitute and, can I see if I recognize her?
Sure. And if you do, how about we'll say, roll me a wisdom check, DC 15. If you beat it, you could describe her.
Oh, no, that's just an 8. That's fine.
An 8. Nope, you have no idea who that is.
Okay. I also frequent brothels around here.
Scruff of the neck.
What, Magnus?
I would like to pick up Ronald by the scruff of the neck as he's trying to walk past us.
Nice. Do you resist, Ronald?
No, I can't.
All right, that's fair. All right. We're gonna do a dice roll there, but if you just accept, then totally cool.
And no castaways on this ship. Get rid of her, Ronald.
Castaway is hardly a castaway, more like a sleepover?
Distraction. No, a liability. Get rid
A
of
20
her.
harlot.
Listen, if I don't have anybody to take care of my whims in the middle of the night, I'm going to absolutely glaze this deck.
I bet you wouldn't even know where to find the wet spot on a woman.
Of course I do. It's like right below the nose every time. Anyways, I'm sorry, love. It looks like you're not destined for this voyage.
No.
Yes, but you'll be happy to know, as tradition on all ships, you cannot exit the same way you entered. So, see you. And I just push her over the side of the ship.
Okay. I don't think we're on the ship yet, but I still love the idea of you pushing her off the docks. Even though you say that, you just kick her off the dock. She's like, as is tradition. She hits the water and she's like, ugh, I fucking hate sailors.
And then, could I do like this, like some fish vendor rolling by on a cart? I'd like to grab one of his shitty seaweed covered buoys and just throw it down to her for a flotation device.
Sure. Thank you. Anyways, on that note, I guess you guys have formally introduced yourselves to each other. At this point, you guys see the crate that you've been waiting for, the delivery. Indeed, it comes up the dock with Percival pushing it along, and it continues to hum with a small, low frequency. Percival, as you're pushing this thing along and you approach, what do they see? What do you say?
Meanwhile, I'm calling out, move it, please. This is precious cargo coming through. Oh, why is that trollop in the water? That's not where they go. Anyway, Billsworth.
Yeah, that's me.
Oh, good. I am your charterer, and Miss Cargo, please put it on board for me as soon as possible. And be careful.
People who do work for me do that work for me.
And I'll be toddling up the gangplank. Think, you must be Billsworth. I am Lord Percival Whiskerbottom.
Oh, yes, the Whiskerbottoms. I remember you.
Yes, well, your father says you are mostly capable, and so I trust our trip to the Rock of Brawl will be uneventful. Yes?
Oh, yes. I'm of the utmost capabilities. I'm sure my father told you I'm outstanding. You have nothing to worry about in your cargo.
Good.
The cargo looks strange and valuable.
It is extremely valuable, it is precious, and it is temperamental. I would not touch it or try to open it other than to move it into place. In fact, you should probably use handles.
I get it.
Yes, well.
Oh my god, this is gonna be such a long trip.
There's nothing good going to come from it.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, sure there is. I'll be able to get back into my family and get money, my inheritance back, and my status.
You're a large one. You are, also in charge, yes? I would like my cabin apportioned and snacks provided in there. Perhaps some lettuce, some celery, and if you have pine nuts. I do love pine nuts.
Your quarters have already been assigned and set. Everything you ask for will be found in there.
Wonderful. Yes. You're not lime flavored, are you there? You're one of jelly.
First of all, that's racist. Second of all, I'm blue. What blue thing is lime flavored?
Well, you never know. It's always worth asking as long as you're not blue raspberry. That is awful. Raspberries are not blue.
So are you called Whiskerbottom because you got you have an ass face?
Oh, I'm going to like you. No.
Right. I'm gonna take his humming box. I'm gonna take his humming box, and I'm just gonna start moving it onto the ship myself. I'm done with this conversation.
Nice.
Also, what are the other two NPCs' name? I only remember Grick.
Spanner?
And fucking Grick, Spanner, and
I'm gonna let you call him whatever you want to call him. I said the name twice. No one remembers his name.
Flappy.
All right. Okay. In that case, Glowy Eye, get your ass over here.
It's all right. What's going on? You need something?
Help me get this down to cargo.
All right, can do. Taking it down to cargo.
You know,
Yes, that's me.
That's what people do when they limp. They hobble. Who the fuck are you?
I'm Hubble.
This, Captain.
don't
This
care.
is one of the lovely crew your griff friend hired.
Yeah. And I was assigned for maintenance for some reason. It's not what I was supposed. That's not what I was.
No,
hired to do.
don't. We're not talking about that. We're gonna reassign everybody down below later. Don't even get me started.
All right.
I'm your boss for this trip.
Okay.
But you still report to me.
So the ship creaks a little bit as you guys feel that the crate has officially been secured down below in cargo. And as that happens, Flapjack does indeed rise from the bottom below deck and up onto the deck of the ship. And he is a flumph, right, as previously described. And his glowing tendrils kind of sway with curiosity and joy as he floats around all the new crewmates and floats around Ronald. And Echo and Magnus, this is kind of normal for Flapjack. But he has a gentle psychic pulse as he gestures for each one of you guys to follow. And then he coughs a little bit and speaks in this deep, odd southern drawl, and he's like, well, I reckon it's high time I show y'all around this floating piece of engineered madness, huh?
Show the way, Flapjack.
Now y'all gonna want to keep close, cause don't lick anything that sparkles, and mind your hairs on the low beams. I'm looking at you, Magnus.
As he floats over for the first time, one of his tendrils reaches out and points, and there's this little, doggy door, flap that has been carved into the side of one of the walls of the ship. And out from the doggy door comes this ancient-looking dog. And he's got super long nails that are just, scratching up the deck of the ship as he walks, And he's like, that there is my loyal companion, Mumbles. Now, Mumbles has been just a part of this ship about as long as any other one of us has, and we're going to take good care of Mumbles as we always do. Say hi, Mumbles. And he's shaking, and he walks his claws on the deck over to Ronald and tries to lick you, but his tongue is just old and dry. And he's like,
oh, lovely. What a lovely little pet you have here.
Yeah, Mumbles there is a good dog.
Wait a second.
No?
He can have this old mutt, but I can't bring a prostitute on board? What the fuck is up with that?
We can trust the dog.
Mumbo's been a part of the crew and probably has done more with its life than you ever will.
We need to hire more hot women.
Well, I wouldn't say no to that. Anyways, come on now, Mumbles, quit bothering them.
then he scratches over and goes and lays in a dog bed that's just dirty and covered in hair. It's got an old water bowl, and he licks real slow, like. He's like, good boy, Mumbles. Now, Flapjack floats along, and he says, now here's the main belly of the beast, right? Wood's held together here with hope and glue and, well, 3 kinds of borrowed magic. Got ballistas there and there. Oh, and that mangy old mongrel, he likes to sleep right over here as well. Don't let Mumbles get you, 'cause she bites like a mule with a toothache if you ain't careful. And then he continues leading you guys, and he leads you into a cramped galley area. And Flapjack comes up once again, and he's like, now this little nook's where we burn breakfast and invent new ways to make beans taste like nothing. Now, with the new hiring of a cook, thanks to the Billsworth Shipping Company, maybe we'll be able to eat more than old toast. But I'd be careful, 'cause I never touched a dwarf. Any questions about the kitchen?
Yes, what day do you serve lobster and caviar?
Now you listen here, fancy boy. If we're ever able to get lobster and caviar, you better earn it. 'Cause if not, I'm feeding it to Mumbles. 'Cause that dog deserves it more than you at this point. Now I can tell by the look on your face that you didn't like my answer, so I'm gonna go on ahead and move on. Follow me?
Bon, did you not understand that going on a ship voyage means we're going to be eating mostly cured salted meats, like anything that can be preserved? Like, did you not understand that when you signed on with Daddy?
I may have overlooked that small detail.
Well, I'm sure Daddy left a how to be a captain in your quarters for you, so maybe learn how to read.
I hope he left me a naked woman in there.
Maybe if you're nice enough to the chef, they can whip you up something good. What I wouldn't do is insult the chef's name, especially as soon as you meet him, because that might anger him and he might burn your food over the course of the journey. So be good to, what's his name? Hobbles?
Who's that?
Right. Moving on.
Flapjack drifts into a lower hull, and he says, and down here's where the creepy box sleeps. Don't poke it, don't whisper near it. Ain't that right, Percival? Here's where your cargo is being hauled. I've already been filled in on everything, even though I just drive the ship. I don't know.
Yes, yes, it is safe, it is secure, but he should be touching it, lest they grow feathers from their anuses.
Yeah, that's exactly
That's what I was told anyway.
what the scroll said. Touch the box and grow feathers from your anus. That's exactly what. Okay, we're going to move on to the rooms now. Y'all probably won't like them, but that's what it's like when you're living on a boat. Okay? Ronald. And he flips open his thing and a door creaks open, and he's like, here's a friggin' fancy suite your father has provided. Looks like a fucking peacock done exploded in here. Was a walk-in storage closet last week, though, so good luck.
There's not even a vanity? What is this?
Well, I don't know nothing about no vanity there, Ronald, but yeah. If you ask nicely, maybe we can provide. Especially if you're nice to the maintenance guy, he may be able to build you something. New guy, what was his name? Spanner?
Spanner, yeah, Spanner.
That's a tool, not a person.
Oh, it can be both.
I've got the perfect room for you here, Percival.
And he takes 3 steps forward, and his little tentacle hits a dresser, and the drawer opens, and there's like velvet in the drawer, and he's like, tiny drawer full of velvet. Perfect for you.
Oh, that's rather nice.
Yeah.
Maybe I could get a few shavings perhaps in there too. That would be very comfortable. Oh my goodness, I can feel it already.
Now, I guess if these guys want to, they can show off their rooms and where they sleep on the ship. They're a part of it. But before they do,
And he floats proudly to the helm of the ship.
he says, and this here is Mama's chair. Cushions are mine, Bubbles too. Don't touch nothing. She purrs when she's mad, and she is always mad.
And he slowly rests down on the cushions of the Spelljammer helm, which I will go into more detail about later. But for now, do you want to show off your rooms and talk a little bit about them, Echo and Magnus?
I mean, my room's nothing special. I prefer to sleep with the crew. That is who I work with. That is who I spend my time with. I gotta stay humble. I gotta stay on their level. If I want respect from my workers, I gotta be with them. So I just have a hammock set up in the main crew setup. That's it's nothing special for me. I don't need anything good, big and fancy.
I got it on the nose with that one because in my notes I wrote a hammock for Echo. So I fucking got it on the nose. Yeah. Magnus, what about you?
I can't fit near the crew, so I have a bed down in the cargo hold next to like the cannons and stuff, just because I don't fit anywhere else, and then one small chest to be able to keep all my nice tidy clothes and the things to keep them tidy.
Nice. Very good. I think that's great. As the tour here ends, I think that all of you guys reassemble together in the mid-deck. Flapjack is slowly floating, over around the Spelljammer, and before you guys take off, he floats around and he's like, well, now, I think we're pretty much ready to go, so, who's ready to just get lost in the stars?
I can't wait to get back.
Yes, I think it's about time we started this voyage. Tally-ho, crew, and I head to what I thought was the front of the ship, but it's actually the back of the ship, and I point off of the back of the ship, and it's like, forward! Full steam! Full ass ahead!
Oh, God. All right. Can Echo would like to just, Echo's just going to come up next to him and just turn him
before
around.
Before you do, though, Flapjack bumps you, and he's like, that fancy boy ain't gonna last 2 days. You want to bet on it?
Oh, I'll give him a week before I just disembowel him myself.
Deal.
But yeah, I'm just gonna turn Ronald around, be like, that way, dingus.
Full ass ahead.
As the final ropes are cut loose and the last arcane seals are unlocked, the ship here groans to life. The sails flicker between dimensions and dimensions as reality folds. Flapjack floats over, his tendrils glowing, his silent presence radiating calm and yet mischief, and the Spelljammer's helm awaits as he floats over to the crystalline throne and just nods once, and he goes, now y'all gonna need to hold on to something. She ain't like to be tickled. You guys can see that the helm itself is set into the rear of the bridge. It is a throne that is grown from polished amethyst and silver roots, and it pulses gently with arcane life as he sits down on it. The armrests reshape to fit any kind of form that goes near it. There are star maps that glow faintly all across its back, and wisps of starlight leak into its seams. A spelljamming helm is a classic thing from Dungeons & Dragons. It's been around for a very, very long time, and that itself is what powers this ship. And when you sit in this chair, you don't just sit in the chair and command the ship, you bond with the ship itself. So, as Flapjack settles into the helm, the ship shudders a little bit. Wind catches the sails, and the vessel surges forward. Clouds part like fabric, and the sea falls away. Above you, the sky fractures into a rainbow rift, and you guys shoot into the Astral Sea with a lurch. The ship itself breaches the firmament of reality, and the stars bloom into being. You can see off in the distance there is a Kindori, which is basically a giant, massive space whale that is just gliding lazily past you guys. And starlight twists around your hull like paint in water, and the silence greets you with infinite calm as the ship comes to a rest here in astral space as the rift closes behind you. Everybody looks over to see that Grick is still just mopping, somehow, even here. In this moment, you guys, you've made it to astral space, right? And as a calm settles over all of you and the crew, the crate is in the cargo hold, pulsing away gently. The stars open before you. The journey has begun. And in this moment, I think Flapjack gets off of the spelljamming helm, and he holds up a deck of cards, and he goes, anybody want to gamble?
I'm in.
What are the stakes? What are we buying in? This tournament style?
The only thing we have on these ships, buddy, are weekly rations. Hope you don't want to eat this week.
You guys play with...
years of servitude.
You play with food as money?
Well, what good is money going to do us out here? It's not like we can go buy anything random. It's not like you could just hop to the local tavern off the ship. We got to have real stakes that matter now.
Ooh, steaks. Sounds good.
As you guys are saying that, I think Flapjack is like shuffling these cards with like ultimate finesse, with all of his tentacles going into focus on this thing. And as he's doing that, the other crew drag out a little table, and they set this table out here. Well, actually, in our session, Dale, didn't we explain about having a nice like table, like gambling room? Do you guys want to fill the space with ideas for that? What does that look like?
I imagine it'd be in the galley. Or the rest of the crew activities happen.
Nice. All right. Often the
I
galley.
This is
imagine
a
it's
crowded ship. It's a crowded ship, so the galley also has some of the rest spaces incorporated into it. There's hammocks that are strung about that are filled with other crew members just watching the game because there's nothing else to do on this godforsaken ship. So there's 3 or 4 crew members hanging from their hammocks watching the game go down. The cook is busy away with his weird eye, making, I guess, the money that we're playing with. And, you know, it's a shitty card table. The fabric is ripped up, very well used. In fact, in each of the spots that they have on the card table itself, there's been worn-in armrests on the edges of the table where players were resting their forearms or tentacles or what have you to play the game. Very old table. And chairs that are just simple stools.
You're like describing it from the perspective as Ronald, like what he's seeing for the first time. I love the idea of that. It's very fun.
I'm doing DM description as Ronald.
Yeah, it's pretty great. So it's kind of dim in here, and you guys are all hanging out playing cards on this little table. You guys are just floating through astral space, and I would like each one of you guys to describe maybe a little bit of what you look like while you're gambling with cards, and if whoever wants to do it, we'll have a nice little dice roll here to actually gamble up some food rations if we want to.
Hell
Magnus,
yeah.
you're first. What do you look like?
The cards are real tiny inside my hands, and I tried to read them through my one good eye that has a monocle, and I would like to throw in at least 1/2 week's ration into the pot.
Well, the stools aren't really adequate for one of my size, so I go across the galley and I get the bottom of one of those gravy boats, and I pull it over and put it up on the table, and I sit myself right in it. And when it comes time for the cards, a spectral yellow hand comes up and is holding my cards in front of me as I look from person to person to person, and I will throw in a little too much. I'm going to bet a little heavily this time, just to see what happens. And I'm going to be reading for tells.
Nice. Cool. Echo?
So Echo is relaxed back in a chair, but she's put on some gloves because she's learned that she kind of goops on the cards if she doesn't have like gloves on. So she's kind of put these mittens on to like kind of like be able to play cards without gooping up her cards.
Nice.
But hold on, I'm checking something really quick. Hold on.
Okay. Ronald?
Well, Ronald is sitting there rather confidently, but only because of the fact that he hasn't even looked at his cards. He's not going to, because that's how he plays this game.
Fair.
He's going in blind, everyone. All in. Full week's ration.
Oh,
full
Mr.
week?
Big. Someone's looking forward to being hungry.
Right. Back to you, Echo. What you got?
You know what? I'm looking at my cards and I'm like, I'm feeling nice, so I'm gonna say, you know what, Bun? You know what? 2 weeks rations.
2 weeks rations?
Call. I don't care.
I think they might be bluffing. I will call.
All right, I knock. Call.
I will also call 2 weeks rations. Right out the gate. Bloody madness.
Bloody madness. Okay, we're going to make one dice roll, just kind of see how the gambling goes overall. And I guess whoever wins gets 8 weeks worth of rations to then trade out amongst everybody. So, I was just thinking we all just roll a d20, but if you want to do... Slade was doing insight. because he was looking for tells. If you want to do deception, you could add deception to it. If you want to do whatever. So pick a skill, describe how you're using it, and then you can make that check, and whoever gets the highest wins. Simple enough.
All right.
It's a shame there's not a luck skill.
Right.
I'm thinking
There is another system.
it wouldn't like sleight of hand be kind of like luck?
No, sleight of hand is like stealing cards.
When you're
It's the
cheating.
opposite of luck. You're making your own luck at that point.
Yeah.
And your point.
Funny enough, I'm glad you mentioned it. I am going to use my luck skill to re-roll that insight check.
Cool. Yeah, because you only got an 11.
Yes.
You think religion would count as luck?
No, I do not. Maybe if you're a paladin and you pray to your god, then maybe. Magnus, it rolled twice again. What the hell? We'll take the insight one. Is that what you're
I
doing,
don't know
Magnus?
why it's doing that.
Yeah.
I was doing insight.
Okay. Just waiting for you
I guess
to
I'm just going to roll a d20, but I don't even know how to do that on this.
Bottom left, there's a little dice icon. You can click that and
yeah.
pick.
Yeah. But you should pick a skill.
And have to push roll.
I'd pick a skill. Since you're doing like all in, not even looking at my cards, that seems like intimidation to me. You could use intimidation.
Okay, intimidation then. Here we go.
Oh, so close. With their luck point, Lord Percival got a 21, Echo got a 7, Magnus got a 15, and Ronald got a 19, which means that Lord Percival Whiskerbottom wins overall for the night. All 8 rations for the little guy who needs to eat the least on the ship.
Yes. Oh, yes.
That's the thing. I don't need to eat at all.
Oh, true, huh? True, huh? Yeah. Okay. As your guys' game comes to an end here, you see a little bit of like a flicker of light, like a chime of light, and you guys hear the scratching of Mumble's nails on the deck of the ship. And Flapjack's like, oh, what's that? Better go check on it. And you guys finish up your game, and you walk back out onto the deck to see that there is a little Twinga. And the Twinga is, I think I can actually save the image for us so I can actually show us here.
Is it my Twinga? Oh.
Yeah, it is a little
Sad.
Twinga astronaut. And he's got little bait, he's like fishing for a little goldfish over there. But whenever you guys step out, you can actually see that the little Twinga is actually just playing around with Mumbles. And Mumbles is like scratching on the deck and trying to jump up at its little fishing rope. It's got a little piece of its dog food on the little fishing rope. And it's totally just playing with it.
No, isn't that precious?
Indeed.
So, Ronald, how you feeling about starving for the next week?
Not too well, but you know how you reverse your gambling. More gambling.
More gambling? What do you got that we'd want there, Bon Bon?
Shit.
It's all about what you can offer, Captain. It's all about what you can offer.
I don't know. Free round of whores when we get back. I don't know.
So, as you say that, almost in an instant, the Twinga disappears in a flash of light, and Mumbles barks a little bit, like, "Hoof!" And the Twinga just disappears. And without warning, the shimmering calm of the Astral Sea shudders a little bit, and your ship vibrates. And a ripple of thought, a gust of malice. Stars swirl above as a silver storm begins to gather. And then, from the silvery storm bursts riders, humanoids, with full helmets and red armor, and they are mounted on scavers. Scavers are like giant astral space-flying piranhas almost, and they all have air bubbles around their heads. And they fly through space, and you can see the scaver also has like a single large eye in like the leading edge of its head, kind of like boomy monster sharks, But these humanoids charge the ship, one towards the helm, another towards the hold, as lightning crackles around your vessel and the wind howls through thought alone. And that, my friends, is where we're going to leave episode 1.
Ew.
Oh, I should say a thing.
Excellent.
Check out next episode for next action-packed adventure. We're going to do a battle. Oh, goodness. What's going to happen? I don't know. And hey, we're going to do a thing called the short rest. And if you want to watch the short rest, you got to be a member here on our YouTube channel. Members only. You want to watch it. We're going to talk about the episode and give more details and insights out of costume. And we're going to answer all different kinds of comments and things that you guys leave on this episode in episode 2's short rest. So make sure to leave comments down below, questions for us to answer next time around. Do it. All right. Thanks. And we'll see you then.